Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Bird's Nest Podcast. I'm Joe Donahue. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today is a very special episode because we are here at Lincoln Financial Field. Today is the public practice here at the Link, and we're going to be able to see what's going on. We're going to be able to, for the first time, see our Eagles in action as we are going through training camp and as we are getting ready for the preseason games and the upcoming NFL regular season. It is a party here at Lincoln Financial Field. People are tailgating this practice. It's incredible. I'm here in the K lot right outside the Link. So we'll also hear from some Eagles fans, hear from what your thoughts are and hopes are for the season, and we'll see our Eagles players in action. So this will have some of my notes over the course of the session. Especially if you couldn't make it today, this episode's for you. This will give you an inside look into what public practice is like and be able to give you an opportunity to see and hear what this team looks like. So follow along. Happy to have you join us. Party here at Lincoln Financial Field. You can see all of the festivities that are going on. You can see fans are having fun. They've opened up the field for people. Fans are starting to slowly pile into their seats. We are going to see today for the first time the Eagles in practice live before the fans. The first time they're going to take the field at Lincoln Financial Field this season. It's been a blast. We had the chance to talk to some fans over here on the field, and this is what they had to say.
Julian Denoya, Haddonfield, New Jersey. Been an Eagles fan since I was born. I was born about 2 blocks from the stadium on 13th and Bigler before moving to South Jersey.
Are you excited about this season?
I think the fact that a lot of the players are returning, and especially looking to see how the coordinators, being that they are new, assimilate to the new team and make sure that they get the players ready for obviously the season. I've always been a Jordan Mailata fan, the left tackle. I think being a 7th round pick and kind of just building his way throughout the league has always been really aspiring and should be aspiring to a lot of people growing up that are trying to chase their dreams. And he's just a straight mauler, so he's great to see all the time.
Interesting positions you want to see today.
So definitely the wide receivers and the defensive backs. Anytime you can line up those two up against each other, you really bring out like the best of each player, having competition between the two groups.
How many wins do you think we're going to get this season?
I would say probably 11. I think it's going to be a little bit of a step back from last year just because of the schedule. But I think overall, once they get to the playoffs, they're going to be in rare form.
All right. My name's Justin.
I'm Drew. We're from Souderton, PA.
Yeah. All right. What are you most excited about?
I'm not sure if it's Nolan Smith or Jalen Carter, but one of them. Just watching a wreak havoc somewhere.
I'm just ready to watch Smitty maul some guys.
Who's the player you're most interested in seeing today?
Probably Nolan Smith. I've heard a lot of positive things so far, so I'm ready just to see it for my own eyes.
I'm ready to see the monster of Jordan Mailata. Just that big behemoth running over the field.
What positions do you guys think are the most important ones that the Eagles need to look at over the course of camp?
Personally, my favorite position is linebacker, which is counterintuitive to the fact that the Eagles never have linebackers. So I always like to see them do something with linebackers, but I have high hopes for Nakobe Dean, but I have not heard anything so far out of training camp. towards him. I know I just saw a notification on our way in that they signed Miles Jack and Zach Cunningham to one-year deals. Obviously, they won't be here today, but I like Zach Cunningham coming out of the draft a lot. So I'm excited to see him, what they'll do if he actually plays or what'll go on with that.
For me, it's definitely the safeties because of Sidney Brown. I just want him to play. So, I mean, no disrespect to Reed Blankenship, but, I mean, I just love to see what they're doing to figure out who's going to be the starting safeties on opening day.
How many wins do you think we're going to have this season?
I'm hoping an over-under would be like 12. I'm hoping for 13, 14, but if we can get 12 and win the division, I'll be ecstatic.
I'm thinking 14. I mean, we got that tough stretch of like the Chiefs, Bills, Niners. We played Niners, right? Or am I just thinking
we
last
played
year?
Niners week 13.
Yeah, and then Cowboys and Seahawks, and so I feel like right around there we're gonna have a little bit of like a little like up and down, but I think that's gonna be the toughest part. So I think we'll lose like 2 or 3 games around there.
My name's Fati. I'm from North Philadelphia, born and raised. I've been here all my life, so we're here, baby.
How'd you become an Eagles fan?
From birth, pretty much. The whole family. I come from a family of immigrants, but one of the first things they latched onto when they came to the country was the Eagles. So here we are.
Where'd your family immigrate from?
Turkey.
Favorite Eagles player?
Of all time, it's got to be Brian Dawkins. I mean, there's no other option there.
Who's the player you're most interested to see today in practice?
Today at practice, I really want to see how DeAndre Swift fits into this offense. That's a big piece I think we were missing was a passing running back, so hopefully we see a little bit of that today.
What's the position battle you're most interested in seeing today?
Linebacker, I want to say. I know I just got news recently that we signed Miles Jack and Zach Cunningham, but I want to see who comes out on the top of that position especially because there's a lot of competition there to be had.
How many wins do you think we're going to have this season?
17. Realistically, I think we take a step back or two. I think we'll be around 12-5, maybe 13-4. But I think we're still going to the Super Bowl again. I don't see any other outcome for this team.
Who's the rookie or new addition to the team you're most interested in seeing today?
Probably Swift. Thinking who else I would want to see. In terms of rookies, Nolan Smith as well. I think he's going to be a hell of a playmaker on the outside. Those two, I would say Nolan Smith on defense, DeAndre Swift on offense.
So you can tell that it's an exciting time for folks. It's an exciting time for people. We are going to get our first look again at the Eagles team. The Eagles are giving fans, you can tell, a lot to be excited about. So they're here. They're going to enjoy a practice, and we'll get moving. With the general admission seating style of the public practice, I took my perch in the club level around the 50-yard line to try to get the best view of the whole practice. Friend of the show Dave Spadaro was on hand to guide fans throughout the practice, including introducing each segment to the fans, and even introduce the players on the team during the start of practice. Huge ovations were given for returning players like Jason Kelce, Jalen Hurts, Brandon Graham, and others, along with some of the new guys like Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, DeAndre Swift, and others. Before practice, the Eagles did announce that they had signed free agent linebackers Zach Cunningham and Miles Jack to one-year deals. Chris Franklin of NJ.com did spot the two at practice, but they were not yet participating today. Nick Sirianni, in his press conference before the practice began, did agree that the team was a touch thin at that point, which became more evident with Nakobe Dean's injury. Though he stressed that the addition of Cunningham and Jack was not a reflection of the quality of players in the linebacker room. So the Eagles public training camp practice was a way for fans to get involved and get excited about the upcoming year. The camp itself, it was run, it looks like, very similarly to how a regular Eagles training camp would occur. The Eagles, they ran various different types of drills. There were lots of individual stuff. There were 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s. There were punting drills. There were all kinds of things. So it's really, really exciting as a fan to be able to watch this, because it's sort of your opportunity to be able to see how the Eagles are being put together over the course of this year. There were several notes that I wrote down just simply based off of what I had witnessed. There were lots and lots of really good passes from Jalen Hurts. Lots of really good decisions. Yeah, I've got Hurts to A.J. Brown. There was a really, really beautiful pass for Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown. There were several heads-up scrambles that he had. He's really shown improvement in his consistency, as Sirianni has been saying, and he's also shown improvement in the decision making that he has. He had his worst day on Friday, but he had a pretty good day today. He had a lot of heads up runs, a lot of heads up scrambles. You can see those through the course of those drills. There were several things that I noticed. Rashad Penny had the opportunity to he had some really, really big ups. I don't think that we really noticed that, but he had some big ups. Now, unfortunately, he didn't come down with the pass that he demonstrated that on, but he definitely outjumped his defender, which is impressive to say the least. Marcus Mariota had some really good runs as well. He had a beautiful 20-yard run to a slide on a wide-open field. He also hit Olamide Zaccheaus. Olamide Zaccheaus, that having been said, he didn't have the best night in the world, I will say. He did have a muffed punt during the punt return drills. You could hear a collective groan from the crowd in Lincoln Financial Field. The second punt that he had, he bobbled it a little bit, but he did wind up handling it. I did spot check the punters. I know Jimmy Kempski from Philly Voice. He does all of the unofficial hang time stats. But I did spot check the punters. Aaron Siposs had a 4.73 second hang time on the punt that I spot checked, and the next punt that I spot checked was by Ty Zentner. He had a 4.17 hang time. So we'll give the day to Siposs there just based off of the site. They both seem to be pretty, again, as is to be expected. They both seem to be pretty neck and neck in terms of their ability as a punter. So I'm going to give the day in the punting battle to Aaron Siposs just by a hair, just based off of the one punt that I spot checked. But they both seem to be pretty standard. Again, there's no real standout winner this year, unfortunately. Aaron's good. We know what we've got in him. Ty Zentner is a rookie. He's got opportunities to develop. There were actually 2 punt sessions today, which was really, really cool. And it kind of makes up for the fact that there weren't as many punt sessions over the course of the previous sessions, according to multiple reports from Eagles beat reporters. There were some mishandled snaps, mostly at the hands of Brett Toth, both to Ian Book as well as to Marcus Mariota. They were not great mishandled snaps there. So that's definitely frustrating to see as a fan. Is okay, you've got your first team center in Jason Kelce, you've got your second team center in Cam Jurgens, he took pretty much all of the first team reps at right guard that he was doing, except for a couple of notes. There were a couple of reps that he took at center. So Jason Kelce actually didn't take all of the first team reps at center, and when he didn't take the first team reps at center, Cam Jurgens was there. So there is definitely, Cam Jurgens is still very clearly the second team center, but he's also, it looks like, going to be the first team right guard. So we all kind of anticipated that. But yeah, Brett Toth was not somebody to was not really all that impressive. There were a couple of stupid things. There was a defensive pass interference. I did not see who it was called on, unfortunately. Now, again, it is early in the season, but this is the kind of stuff that we do want to take some time to work out now before we hit the actual regular games. Session really closed out with a 2-minute drill, situational football kind of situation. There were 2 different setups. The first was the ball was on their own 35-yard line. There were 55 seconds left, 1 timeout. The team was down by 3, so they just needed to get into field goal range. The second was there were 49 seconds left on the clock, I believe was the number. one timeout. It was on the opposing team's 35-yard line. The offense was down by 8. So that was simming. Okay, you have to get the touchdown, and then you also have to get the 2-point conversion. So on the initial, there were really good ones. There was a really good. It was almost a catch. It did. When you actually watched it on the replay that they showed here at the link, it was down out of bounds. But there was a very, very beautiful reach and grab and pull down from Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown. So that was beautiful. And then there was another really good Hurts to Smith pass as well that worked out. Again, Olamide Zaccheaus on the second team for that same drill. He really didn't impress. He had a ball that he really should have caught that he didn't. And then that pales in comparison to Jack Stoll, who he was wide open on pass in that same kind of situation. And that was missed as well. The second team did get their touchdown through a beautiful Marcus Mariota run again. We almost thought that he got in. He was just shy out of bounds. They marked him down at like the 3 or what have you. So he wasn't quite in, but he was pretty close. And they did finally get that in through Joseph Nagata. I passed Joseph Nagata. The problem was, and some of the folks in my section noticed this, was by the end of it, there were 20-some seconds on the clock. And also, it was a moot point anyway because they did not convert the 2-point conversion on that play. But overall, it was a really, really good performance. It was a really, really good practice. You can really see how a lot of the guys, they seem to have fun. They seem to enjoy each other. They were really, really big fans of the fans. It was a big party, and the Eagles fans really enjoyed it. So that is going to do it for our report here from Lincoln Financial Field. I'm Joe Donahue. Thank you so much for tuning into Bird's Nest Media and the Bird's Nest Podcast. You can support the Bird's Nest Podcast by subscribing to Bird's Nest Media on YouTube or by subscribing to the Bird's Nest Podcast on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, Amazon, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcasts, it's there. You can also visit birdsnestmedia.com for all kinds of written pieces. We've got plenty of stuff coming up as the Eagles start to ramp up towards the regular season. We've got some exciting things in the works for you, so please feel free to stay tuned for that. If you feel at all inclined to support us financially, there is a link on birdsnestmedia.com to our Patreon page. Thank you so much for your consideration and for your support, even by liking and sharing this video. That really helps a lot. But thank you so much for watching and tuning in to the Bird's Nest Podcast. I'm Joe Donahue.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Let's go, Eagles.